Hmm. Good. And we notice the ground underneath us, but we also notice the sounds of the room that we're in. Good. And just let it kind of absorb for a moment where you are, who you're with. And feeling the air touching your skin. We'll just spend a few minutes doing absolutely nothing. Hmm. Ah. Yeah, and this thing happens when I do nothing with my body, which is where, my mind starts to do a little bit more. And so maybe we just bring our attention into the sound of the breath as it comes and goes. Good. And maybe that exhale has some kind of sound to it. Maybe the inhale has a sound. I'm not sure if anybody saw that video, or I think it was like a little comedy video where it was the Grinch practicing yoga. And like the teacher was just like, all right, everybody on the exhale, make a sound. And the Grinch just like let out this blood curdling scream. So maybe we don't go in that direction necessarily, but there could be like a little groaning or a little like, huh, or whatever needs to exit your body. Yes. It will take about 10 more breaths here, just settled in. Hmm. And these, last handful of breaths here, this last handful, maybe on your exhale, you make just kind of like a low hum kind of sound. And the good news is the music is up, so nobody can hear you making your weird humming sound. But just waking up that throat a little bit. And in addition to waking up those vocal cords, that vibration kind of affects our nervous system. It helps to soothe it a little bit. So just a few more. Hey. Take one big breath into your body, into your extended limbs. On the exhale, feel yourself touch down. All right. And then, yeah, let's bring the soles of the feet down to the ground. And we are going to rock the knees from side to side. Right, so during fire season, the way that we sort of balance fire is with water. So today's practice will be mostly focused in on our water channels, which involve our urinary bladder and our kidneys. The kidney channel runs down the front of the body. I believe it starts up in the chest and then runs through the belly and then down through the inside line of the leg and runs into the sole of the foot. And your bladder channel is from your tear ducts up over your head, down around your spine, down around your sacrum, backs of the legs, and into the little toe. All right. So let's just spend a second here in constructive rest. We're going to place our hands on top of our low belly and just let them sit there kind of heavy. As the hands sit nice and heavy into the low belly, think about breathing and feeling your hands move up and down. All right, sweet. Good. And then we are going to spend a moment grabbing a hold of our strap. We are going to take that strap. Okay, so maybe a little weird, but let's see what happens. I'm going to take that strap just around our little toe, and we're going to send our left foot up. So the rest of the toes are loose. That little toe is getting like a giant stretch. Oh, whoa. Yeah, just notice and feel that toe. Good. You might flex your foot a whole lot, or it might be more towards the point. We just want to do something that feels okay enough to stay here for like a minute. Good. As you feel that little toe. Good. Also take notice of the left back of the pelvis down into the glutes. Good. And feeling your sacrum on the ground. Good. We're going to settle in for just like 4 more breaths here, nice and slow. Good. All right. And then we are going to release that strap from the little toe, and it's just the whole foot now. And we'll drag that strap around side to side. Oh, right. Feel the undersides of your toes and that whole entire ball mound and the arch of the heel. Oh, good. A few more breaths here. Good. And then we're going to start to move that foot in a nice kind of big arc, right? Sliding it side to side, and that strap is maybe still involved. And if you want to, you can drag the strap along the sole of your foot while you're doing this, or you could keep that strap stationary, right? So just feeling this out. Just take a few moments here. All right, good. And then let's take that strap to the place where the ball mound meets the arch. We're going to wrap the strap around the left hand and kind of draw that left thigh in towards the belly. So it's like a deeper lengthening, a bigger stretch for the back of that left leg. You could keep your right foot on the ground, or maybe you decide to slide that right leg out long. And we'll just hang out here. Oh. Ah. Ah. Good. 5 more breaths here. All right, great. And then if you have sent that right leg out long, we're gonna rebend the knee, and take the foot back to the ground. Oh, and then set that left foot on down and just spend a moment here in the middle, maybe rocking. We're holding still. Very good. And then let's think about sliding that right leg out nice and long on the ground. And we're going to tuck that left foot underneath the back of your right thigh. And this might take a little like butt adjustment. Um, so yeah, you might want to like pick up your pelvis and kind of draw your glutes in towards each other, I guess. And then set yourself back down. So the front feels kind of broad. You could slide a thing under that left knee and we'll just hang out in sleeping tree for a little bit. Oh, and I want to recommend extending those arms out past the head here too. Ah, it's like airing yourself out. Ah. So I have this one cat, May, who does this thing that I've been calling hot catting, where she just lays on her back and like all of her limbs are like extended out in weird directions. Yeah, so we'll just like have our inner May time here. Oh, it's a little scary. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? Oh, all right. Feeling the ground, feeling the air. Here we are. Good. Notice the palms of your hands and see if you can feel them get a little softer and more relaxed. Ah. Good. And then notice and feel your elbows. They're also soft. Your shoulders are at ease. Good. And then muscles around your pelvis get to relax a little bit here too. Let's take like 5 more breaths. Ah. Okay, nice. All right, so slowly, we're gonna come on out of this and bring our arms back alongside our body and both soles of the feet back down to the ground. Where, yeah, you might decide to rock a little bit or just kind of settle into that bit of stillness. Feel the next few breaths. All right, good. Let's find our strap again, and we're gonna hone in on that right pinky toe. And so if you can, wrapping the strap around that toe, and being like careful, being gentle, but then sending that right foot up. Oh. All right, and just noticing how it feels here. Maybe it feels really good. Maybe it feels kind of iffy. Right, applying whatever amount of pressure feels appropriate, which could be very little, or could be a whole lot. Ah, yeah, and just a few more breaths, softening your jaw. Ah. Alrighty, let's take that strap to the whole sole of the right foot where we'll drag it side to side. Ah, ah. Yes, you feel the sole of that foot, try to get all the surfaces, even back towards the ankle, towards the back of your heel. Oh. Ah. All right, and then we'll add in that sweeping motion of your right leg, just sending it side to side as much or as little as feels good in your body. Good. And then let's think about wrapping the strap around that right hand, like looping it around. And maybe extending that left leg out long as that right thigh draws in towards the belly. And rather than like pulling with your right hand, just think about making your right arm as heavy as possible. Good. And just feel your breath here. Ah. Ah. Good. Another slow handful of breaths. And the eyes get soft as they can. Ah. Okay, beautiful. So let's find our way on out of this by rebending that left foot and setting the sole on the ground. We'll set that right foot down too. Just find a second here in constructive rest. And maybe your hands come to the tops of your thighs, like near your hip points. And you sort of like press one thigh and then press into the top of the other thigh. Ugh. Good. And then eventually we're going to take that sleeping tree pose to the other side. So left leg will extend out long here. We'll tuck that right foot behind the left thigh. Yeah, a little butt check. Make sure you're good and comfy. Good. Arms might reach out or up. Ah, good. And just allowing our body to uncrunch a little bit. Ah. Hmm. Hmm. Good. And just notice the way your body is settled in here and how you've chosen to arrange your limbs. Maybe you imagine that, or it's not even like an imagine thing, it's more of like a feel thing, right? Feeling how on the inhale you become more expansive and how on the exhale, there's the ground again. So breathing in to become bigger and breathing out to feel softer. Ah, ah. Good. A few more breaths. Perfect. Eventually, we are going to come on out of this. Let's take the arms alongside the body. Oh, and soles of the feet to the ground as we find those blocks or your bolster. And we're going to take that back behind the pelvis. And before we do any kind of like lifting up of our feet, we're going to do a little rocking with our hips elevated now. And so that's going to mean that we arrange our props in a way that feels supportive of that. For me, it's like I have my blocks lengthwise, and one edge of the block is like up near my lumbar vertebrae, and the other edge of the block is down lower, like beyond my pelvis. All right, so just take a moment to feel that out, to gently rock a little side to side here. Good. And your sacrum is like this. I mean, it's called the sacrum for a reason, y'all. It's like the holy place within our body, pretty much. Where there, in various traditions, different ideas about this being a really powerful place energetically. Um, Additionally, according to Chinese medicine, this is our sacrum. That whole area is home to like a pool or an oasis of points that are often needled or gua shad, which is like a scraping kind of thing. You can even do this with like gentle massage and acupuncture, but to help relieve some of the things that might come up as a result of like a blockage in your water channel. All right. So let's send our feet up here. Right. And even if all of that stuff just sounds like a bunch of Greek or Chinese, I guess, um, we want to think about this part of our body also just by how it feels on any given day. And I know that many of us have a lot of sensations happening in this area, right? Some not so great, some that feel pretty good. Okay, we'll just spend time with our feet up, our sacrum kind of holding the weight of our legs. Ah. And then maybe we'll try to stick around here for a few minutes. And just know that any kind of movement you want to take with your legs will be a good thing here. Right? Sometimes it's about rolling ankles. Sometimes I end up like moving my legs around, bending my knees, making circles. And so just sort of finding some kind of like intuitive feet up situation here. Ah, um, good. Let's find another handful of breaths. Nice and slow. Hey, good. And then let's think about bringing that right knee in. We're going to clasp around that right knee, either with hands or a strap. We're going to set the sole of that left foot down on the ground. Oh, and maybe you extend that left leg out long here. Or maybe not. Yeah. Beautiful. Just taking time, finding breath. And again, yeah, rather than like efforting or like using muscular energy to pull that right thigh in, let's just let the hands kind of drop down and the shoulders get soft and heavy. Ah, good. We're just going to take a few breaths here. Few more. Okay, nice. And then we're going to come back to something more symmetrical, which could be both of your feet on the ground, or maybe both of your feet go up. Or a third option, which would be to kind of like bring both of your knees in towards your upper body. Right. So, what is your body kind of asking for in this moment? How are things feeling right now? Good. Like three more breaths here in the middle. Perfect. And then we're going to take a moment just to bring that left knee in towards the chest. And maybe the right leg is extended out long on the ground here, or maybe you decide to keep that knee bent. It's likely this will be a whole different kind of feeling over on this side. So just take care. Ah. Good. Just a few more breaths. Hey, super. Let's take both soles of the feet down to the ground. We're going to remove those blocks. Oh, and then I'm thinking of like maybe a minute or two of like something happy babyish. It could be you grabbing a hold of the backs of your thighs. It could be you reaching up for your feet. If that doesn't quite resonate, you can always take the soles of the feet down to the ground and find constructive rest. And just think about kind of walking your sacrum out and away from your shoulders to lengthen out the lower back. Sweet. Let's take 5 more breaths here. If you do have your hands up to your feet, what would it feel like to kind of press the pads of your thumbs down into your little toe pad? Again, just stretching out through the end of that bladder channel. Perfect. Another breath or two. Oh, yeah. And then we're going to set the soles of the feet on down to the ground. And I think we are going to make our way over onto one side or the other. And then we're going to find our way up to a standing forward fold. But please take your time in doing this. Right? Maybe you want to hang around hands and knees for a few moments and move and wiggle around. Maybe you're just like really ready for that standing forward fold. Maybe you want to like stand all the way up and reach all the way up. And then fold down. But just know that for the next 3 minutes or so, we'll either be in standing forward fold or making our way there. So just opening up a lot of space for you to do the things that feel right in your own body. Good. And when you get into that standing forward fold, there are like a zillion things you could do with your arms. But I want to encourage either maybe like touching into massaging the backs of your knees, um, or massaging the backs of the thighs, or even like up around your sitting bone area. Oh, pressing in. Ah. Good. If the backs of your legs are feeling a little grumpy, a little stiff, a little strong, bend your knees maybe a lot, right? Maybe a little. Good. And then let's feel into the space where our kidneys sit in our body. You might even take your hands there. It's just above your sacrum. Maybe your hands sit like heavy paws, and it's almost like you're giving yourself a little like gentle nudge, a little assist into this forward fold. Good. And then let's think about dropping the hands down. We're going to take a little bit of dynamic movement here. So as you inhale, slide the hands up the fronts of your legs. And as you exhale, slide your hands down the backs of your legs. And we'll just take like 5 of these, breathing in and breathing out. Good. Moving through. Beautiful. And then eventually we're slowly going to roll ourselves all the way up to standing, taking your time to get there. Oh. And yeah, you got right. You did it. We did it. Finally. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just swing. Let's swing for a moment. We're gonna allow our arms to turn into like the blades on one of those little mini fans you want to carry around if you want a hot day. And generating all the movement from this thing called 6 harmonies, which is the way your pelvis and shoulders, and your elbows and knees, and your wrists and ankles all move together. It's a full body thing. Taking breaths that feel good to you. Eyes open or closed. Now we're going to start to clap the hands into the body. Like around, right around the kidney area, actually. And in the front and in the back. Go. More breath. Slowly start to come back to your center. All right. And then let's tuck that left hand behind the back. We're going to take our right hand and we're going to swoop it up and across the midline. We're going to turn that hand at the top, and then we're going to press that hand down. And this isn't like a big twist of the body, actually. We're trying to keep our shoulders more or less right above our pelvis. And these circles can look like anything. Right, arm could be long, elbow could be bent. This could be a real small circle, it could be something big. Do your best to feel down into that right kidney area. Good, and our eyes are following our hands. more circles over here. And we'll come back down into empty stance, drop both arms. We're gonna inhale, roll the shoulders up. And exhale, drop them down. 2 more times. Breathe in. And 1 more. All right. Same thing, other side. We're gonna tuck that right hand behind as we scoop and lift that left hand up. And then press that left hand down. It's like a little brief postural note. Your knees are kind of wide. See if you can soften them a little bit. Big, breathe. Back into our empty stance. Just take a moment to roll the head and neck around a little bit. Nice and gentle. And this could be like semicircles. This could be really gentle, like full circles. And if you are taking full circles, go in both directions. All right, so from here, let's take our hands back down in front of us, like we're about to pick something up. We're gonna inhale, bring our hands up. At about face height, we're gonna flip the hands, and we're gonna press our palms up. Breath in, and then the breath out, the arms drop down. We inhale, lift, bend the knees a little while you're lifting. Breath, and then exhale, arms come down, straight back. Bring in. Four. And last one. Shake out. All right, I think we'll do like one more little thing here. So let's take our left palm descending, left hand down. Our right hand is up like we're about to give a nice full okay. And then we're just gonna sweep ourselves over to the other side. When we get as far as we can go, we're gonna switch our hands out. It's very dramatic for this movement. Yeah, maybe try to slow the heck down. Good. Soft and heavy. And your eyes follow the hand that is up. While longer. One more sweep side to side. Back center, we're gonna inhale, take our hands up to like pyramid. And then exhale, we will stroke the earth. And we'll do that 2 more times. Breathing in and breathing out. Big inhale. And exhale. Then hands will just touch below belly for a second. If you are squeezing your butt, relax your butt just for a breath. Okay, and then we're gonna roll forward again and take your time to get there. Oh, maybe you spend a moment like wagging your tail a little bit from side to side. Then eventually, I think we're gonna make our way onto our bellies. So maybe you come through like a downward facing dog. Maybe not. Maybe you should sit down on the belly. Good, touching back down to the ground. Good. Yeah, and we'll do that little pelvic wiggle, a little shake of your butt side to side and feeling the tops of your thighs on the ground. Good. Let's take another big breath here, feeling the back of the low back rise and fall. Okay. And then let's take that left knee up towards the left side of your chest, coming into a little jumping frog pose here. Oh, yeah, your hands could be stacked in front of you. I also just placed my peanuts under like the right side of my jaw and I am loving it. So I don't know, just tossing it out there. Oh, but we're feeling the ground, connecting again. Right? Oh. Oh. Okay, let's take another 10 breaths or so here, and that left leg can stay bent. You might also decide to stretch it out wide to the side. Oh, nice. Oh. Oh. Good. Yeah, and one last little bit that you might toss into this, if you want to, is to prop yourself up onto your elbows and come into your like Sphinx frog. Good. Sometimes this is a little stressful for the low back, so if you get there and it sucks, then come on out of it. And just feeling your belly touching down and your diaphragm getting a little stretched now in this lift if you're there. Hmm. Good. All right. And then let's come on out of this. We're going to settle back to the ground. Oh, both legs long behind. And for a moment, think about kind of pointing your toes in and maybe dropping your heels out. Right? The knees sort of become a little maybe like knock kneed. And we're doing this just to help broaden that sacral area a touch. Right, take a few breaths here. Oh. Oh. Oh, good. All right. We'll bring ourselves back through to the center. Oh, good. And then pull that right knee up towards the right side of your chest. Are you getting yourself organized with props, getting comfortable? And if you did that peanut trick on one side, you might take it over to the other side. Right, placing that peanut just underneath where the top and bottom jaw come together. Oh. 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 All right, and that right leg might stretch out wide and long, or maybe the knee stays bent here. Yeah, and this is a whole different hip. Ah, good. So just take it easy and really feel what's happening and determine if it's a place you want to stick around. Ah. And if you want to lift yourself up onto elbows, it would be a nice time to make that happen. Ah. Good. Another 2 or 3 breaths. Right, good. And then let's come on out of this. Ooh, we're gonna send that right leg long behind. And then, yeah, I'm thinking of a little bit more Sphinx time here. So elbows under the shoulders. And if you want to take Sphinx into a seal pose at any point, really all you have to do is just like lift up your elbows and maybe engage the glutes down to the ground a little bit. But we'll be here for the next 2 minutes or so. You might roll your head a little bit side to side. Very good. Another breath or two ish. Yeah, and then the good news is we're just gonna roll over onto our backs again. So maybe you take like a thread the needle kind of twisty roll. Maybe you get there in your own favorite way. Oh, but look, we're back in constructive rest. Ah, and it seems like so gentle and so silly and small, but this is a really powerful practice, right? To connect both your sacrum and the soles of your feet to the ground, right? But also the back of your heart and the back of your head to the ground. Right? So it's like we are connecting our nervous system, parts of our nervous system, to the steadiness of the earth. Good. All right. So right ankle's going to cross on top of that left knee, and it's just a figure 4 free for all, which could involve you keeping that left foot grounded and rocking the lower body side to side. Or like, yeah, hugging in, oh, with the strap around the thigh or your hands. Right, or even sending that left foot up and wrapping the strap around the sole of your left foot. Ah, good, wherever you are. Just make sure the shoulders are not too stressed. All right, good. Last 3 breaths, nice and slow if you can. Good. And then let's take the sole of that left foot on down to the ground. We're going to unhook that right ankle. Eventually, we're going to head to the other side of that figure four, but please take a moment in the middle. Great. Maybe, yeah, moving or holding still, but just honoring what your body is kind of asking for after such a big opening. Good. And then, yeah, eventually that left ankle is going to touch down to the top of that right knee, and we'll take any kind of figure four that feels right. Very good. Just another few breaths here. Ah. Ah. All right, beautiful. Ooh, let's set that right foot back down to the ground if it's lifted, and we'll unhook that left ankle. And then I think it's maybe starfish time, actually. So a big stretch out through the legs, through the arms. Maybe your body turns into like the letter X. Or maybe your arms are out, like just wide to the side. Find your breath here. And by find your breath, I guess I just mean listen to your breath. Good. And feel a softening of your fingers and your toes. Palms and arches. Your wrists, your forearms. You feel your elbows get a little softer. And feel the biceps and the triceps totally relax. And then just feel into your shoulders. You feel into your underarms. And then feel into your heart. Okay, feel your ankles, calves. Feel your knees getting softer, thighs relaxing. You feel your hip sockets. Low belly, sacrum. Great. And then from here, let's think about coming back into constructive rest. We're going to take the soles of the feet back down to the ground, find your peanut, and slide your peanut underneath your kidneys. So just above your pelvis, just below your lowest ribs. Oh. Wow. Ah. Good. And what does it feel like to have those tennis balls pressing into that space? Good. Hands might find the belly, and your knees might just kind of rock a little bit side to side, driven by this pressure of your feet down into the ground. Ah. 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 Well, just another breath here. Okay, and then we will slowly start to roll those peanuts up a little higher. Now we are touching into the lower part of your ribs. Whew. All right. Ah. Good. Fingertips might find the inner ridge of your ribs, and maybe you give your belly a little scratch like you're a very easygoing cat or dog. Ah. Good. Belly gets soft, jaw gets soft. Ah. Hmm. Beautiful. Good. And then let's start to roll those tennis balls up a bit higher. Now we're going to touch just the bottom tip of the shoulder blade area. Ooh. Oh, God. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Oh, so this is where I always give the reminder to maybe take a block under your head if things are feeling really intense back here. That block will take some of the pressure off, which might mean that you can breathe a little bit easier. And even as we press into this tender place. Oh. And we will slowly roll those tennis balls up to about the midway point-ish in between our shoulder blades. And once we get there, you might decide to move those arms around a little bit. Maybe just like reaching the hands up towards the ceiling. Or maybe you think about like lifting and lowering those arms or opening and closing those arms. Or like even hugging around your upper body. Oh, whoa, that's it. Good. Eventually we will roll up a little higher up to the top points of the shoulder blades. Woo. Good. At this point, your arms and legs are just doing whatever feels best. Ah. Good. Another breath or two. Good. And then we'll roll all the way up to the tippy tops of the shoulders just before we come to the neck. Tennis balls press in. And if your head is not on a block yet, definitely take one there so that you can feel a little bit more supported. But also because we're going to rock the head side to side. Sometimes having the edge of that block up against the base of the skull is a really powerful thing. You're relieving tension that builds up here just as a result of like being alive right now. Ugh. Good. And then like the icing on the cake, see if you can soften the inner corners of your eyes. Ah. And then, yeah, we're going to take all the props out of the way and just enjoy the ground for a moment. Just you and the ground. Oh gosh. I did lose track of time, so this will be very brief. Maybe 5 breaths. Again, feeling that sense of broadening, lifting, expanding, getting bigger, embodied confidence on that inhale. And as we exhale, feeling the ground, feeling held. A few more breaths like that. Good, good, good. Last breath in, get big and broad. Last breath out, nice and soft. Good, and then eventually we're gonna make our way up into a seat. Great, don't rush if you don't have to. Ah. All right, and we did it, yay. Let's take our hands to our heart, just set them down for a second, feel our heart beating. And feel the lungs fill and empty one time. And we'll all breathe together. Let's inhale. Exhale, drop the head. Oh. Honoring our practice, honoring each other too. All right. I hope your week is pretty okay. Yeah.